You're watching WKYT News at noon.
Good afternoon, Bill Bryant and Barbara Bailey for WKYT News. We are tracking the search for an inmate who escaped from a Lexington prison this morning.
The State Department of Corrections says Clyde Rader walked away from Blackburn around 7:45 this morning. We're learning this isn't Rader's first escape. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is live with our top story at 12:30. Hillary?
Okay, we don't have Hillary.
Court documents 19 years ago, Clyde Rader.
Okay, apologize. Again, Clyde Rader escaped from this very same prison 19 years ago in 1997. He is serving a 64-year sentence for conviction out of Fayette and Madison counties, and his criminal history includes robbery, burglary, and escape. Now, officials with the Department of Corrections say just before 8 o'clock this morning, the 45-year-old walked away from the complex, which is located out on Spur Road in Lexington, and then apparently has made his way to some other location. And at this point, police are searching in the area for any signs of Rader. They say that if you have any information about his whereabouts or know anything that could help the police, to give your local police department a call.
Now, Rader is described as 6 feet tall, weighing about 160 pounds, with blue eyes. If you see him or know where he might be, you're asked to contact your local police department. Rader would have been eligible for parole in December of 2019.
A terrifying situation for a Lexington family. Police say a man followed a woman into her home and robbed her right in front of her children. The details on this: it happened on Chestnut Ridge Drive off Leestown Road. Police tell us the man put his gun to the woman's head and to the stomach of the children's grandmother. He eventually grabbed the mother's purse and then ran off. The family has left their home because they no longer feel safe, and neighbors say they're going to be following suit.
Perfect time to beat feet. I mean, we've been planning it for months, and it's finally here, and it's, you know, every little thing that happens in this neighborhood is just reassurance that we're doing the right thing.
Police are still looking for the robber this afternoon. Police are also continuing to look for a serial robbery suspect. Police say Kelly Cox robbed a gas station on North Broadway Tuesday night before hitting the Fork Bank on West New Circle Road the next day. And Cox is also accused of robbing the Fifth Third Bank on Versailles Road on Saturday. Today, we've learned that these crimes have happened while Cox is out on parole. In one case, they say Cox was driving a dark-colored car with one red spare wheel.
A man is detailing his gruesome discovery in a Kentucky river.
I took my gaff that I used to pull fish in, and I reached and hooked the tote and kind of flipped it over, and I actually cut it just a little bit more so I could see further into it. And when I did, you could see a hand.
State police say a dismembered body was found stuffed in a bag that washed up from the Green River in Hart County over the weekend. Troopers say the only thing that's certain right now is that this is a homicide case. The victim has not been identified. Investigators have identified a body recovered from a northern Kentucky lake. 20-year-old Brandon Stam was found in Doe Run Lake in Kenton County around 1 o'clock this morning. He was swimming with a large group of people when they heard him yell and go under. Stam is from Erlanger.
Police are hoping surveillance pictures will help them catch a robbery suspect with an unusual disguise. Warren County deputies say the man in this video had a gun when he robbed the Dollar General on Russellville Road. He's described as a white man about 5 feet tall with short brown hair. He was last seen wearing jeans and a camo shirt. A Kentucky woman is remaining in serious condition this afternoon after suffering a serious head injury in France. Former state auditor and Secretary of State Bob Babbage says his wife Laura was hurt while riding in an event in conjunction with the Tour de France. There will be a community prayer service for Laura Babbage tonight. It starts at 7 o'clock at the Cathedral of Christ the King in Lexington. Democrats are taking the spotlight this week for their 4-day national convention.
Now, the glare is on the chairwoman of the Democratic National Committee after leaked emails forced a party shakeup. Don Champion has the latest from Philadelphia.
A rocky start to the DNC for Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Everybody settle down, please.
The embattled and resigning DNC chair was shouted down during a breakfast by members of her own delegation.
We know that the voices in this room that are standing up and being disruptive, we know that that's not the Florida that we know.
The Florida Congresswoman is stepping aside as chair after leaked emails suggested that rather than staying neutral, she had favored Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders during the primaries. At a time when the DNC is trying to show unity, the shakeup has dominated headlines. But the Clinton campaign is hoping tonight's all-star lineup will refocus the convention. Senator Sanders is scheduled to speak, so is First Lady Michelle Obama and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. The newest CBS News poll now shows Clinton and Donald Trump tied at 42%, with Trump getting a slight bump after last week's Republican convention. Don Champion, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Now, Clinton's campaign manager has suggested the Russian government might be behind the email leak in an effort to support Trump's presidential bid. The 6-year battle over the legality of instant horse racing in Kentucky will continue a little longer. A hearing this morning in Franklin Circuit Court centered around the Encore gaming machines at Kentucky Downs in Simpson County. The track shows computer-generated reenactments of previously run horse races. The Family Foundation argues that this simulation, or cartoon as they call it, does not classify as a horse race and should therefore be banned.
You ultimately hurt the horse industry. You drive the horses out because slot machines are cotton candy of the gambling industry, and it provides immediate gratification in a way that a horse racing does not. We value the horse culture in our state.
Now, we reached out to the other side for comment, but they denied our request. A tentative trial date has been set for September 6th.
The University of Louisville Board of Trustees will hold a special meeting tomorrow to consider President James Ramsey's resignation. This is the new board's third meeting. Governor Matt Bevin disbanded the previous board last month and said Ramsey had agreed to resign. Governor Bevin is facing a lawsuit challenging his authority to remove the board. The University of Kentucky wants to help you learn more about the Zika virus. Entomology professor and Zika expert Grayson Brown will answer questions during a town hall meeting on Twitter. That will take place from 2 until 3 Wednesday afternoon. Kentucky has had 10 cases of the Zika virus, all travel related. The 10th is a baby born in Fayette County to a mother who traveled to an affected area early in her pregnancy. Keep it here on WKYT. In our Better Living Report, improving trauma care for children.
And a study shows teen athletes actually are less likely to abuse painkillers. That's next on WKYT.
Our first thunderstorm of the afternoon is going up back toward Carlisle and Nicholas County, heading toward the east into Fleming County. We're going to go over that. I'm going to show you bits and pieces popping up here and there and how that's going to help us, actually. That's coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Multiple spots now with that heat index at 100+ degrees. Now, remember, we have 4 to 5 more hours of heating to go. If you're not under one of these pop-up showers or thunderstorms like we're dealing with right now, it's just going to get way worse. You go into E-Town and go off toward Springfield, Willisburg, Mackville, Harrodsburg, Salvisa, Lawrenceburg. I mean, you guys are right there at 102, and then back toward Maysville, Mason County, 102 as well. That goes for Mays Lick. I mean, it's just really, really hot. Now, here's the saving grace for many of us today. Getting pop-up showers and thunderstorms at this moment. One thunderstorm out there at this very moment, and that's back toward Highway 36 in the eastern portions of Nicholas County. Now, this is slowly but surely making its way eastbound. Hillsborough and southern Fleming County, you guys will be next in line in about 30 minutes. Two areas that I could see maybe being clipped by this, Flemingsburg, number 1, and Sharpsburg. That's number 2. Sharpsburg, I would say, a better opportunity than Flemingsburg. But nonetheless, heads up for both of those locations. Nonetheless, if you're taking Highway 11 all the way up toward Flemingsburg, or Fleming County, that is, just watch out for a really heavy downpour and a lot of lightning out of this. Marginal risk of severe weather, that means the lowest risk that you could possibly have. What that means is we'll have hit and miss showers and storms. And not only that, but also the opportunity. It's a stray cell that could become severe That's about it. So don't look for widespread severe weather. It's mainly just that heavy rain, beneficial rain to the yards, keeping our yards nice, green, and lush. And not only that, but keeping our temperatures down. I think that's the key. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, guess what? Same story, just different days. It's going to be hit and miss, on and off. It's going to be the same story like we've seen the past few weeks, where one of you actually gets a thunderstorm, but you go 5 miles down the road, you just won't see anything at all. It's just the way it's going to go. But if you do get lucky and get under one of these showers or thunderstorms, notice I'm saying lucky, being under a thunderstorm. It's going to drop that temperature down big time. That'll help you out as well. So today, 92. Look at the 80s coming up for us for the next few days and off towards your weekend. It's getting better temperature-wise, but that means cloud cover. Thunderstorms, they will start to be on the increase the next few days, but nonetheless, I mean, we're getting rain, and rain's going to help us out big time.
Yes,
absolutely.
Did you see the picture of him and his boy on Twitter running in a little rainstorm Saturday?
Yeah, I put, whenever you don't have lightning in a shower during the summertime, which is rare to do, whenever you don't, take advantage of it. So we went outside running through the puddles. Oh my gosh, it was fun.
Two little ducks, I was listening to the quack, you know?
Right, absolutely.
All right, keep it here on WKYT. There are some new guidelines when it comes to improving trauma care for children, and are teenagers who play sports less likely to abuse painkillers?
Marley Hall has details in this Better Living report.
A new study suggests teenagers active in sports are less likely to abuse opioids and heroin. Researchers in Michigan tracked nearly 200,000 eighth graders and high school sophomores. They found regular participation in sports and exercise, even just once a week, may help protect students from misusing painkillers. The American Academy of Pediatrics is recommending improvements in emergency medical care that focuses on the needs of children. Doctors warn that having only adult-size emergency equipment on hand makes treating pediatric emergencies much more difficult. And collaboration is key between parents, pediatricians, and children when it comes to treatment decisions for young patients. That's according to a new policy report from the American Academy of Pediatrics. It emphasizes the need for doctors to provide information to adolescent and child patients in a way that respects their cognitive abilities. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.
We'll keep it right here. You can't think of Kentucky without horses coming to mind.
How the Bluegrass is celebrating these amazing animals at Hats Off Day. Next on WKYT.
Welcome back in. Great to have you with us on WKYT. I always love this. Hats off to horses, right?
Aren't
all these
they
different
neat?
kinds of hats,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
The Bluegrass is celebrating the horse and its impact on our state.
To learn more about it, we're joined by Dr. Tom Riddle with Rood and Riddle Equine Hospital. Thank you very much. Glad you're in here.
Appreciate your having me here.
What's the purpose of a Hats Off Day?
Hats Off Day is to celebrate and promote Kentucky's signature industry. The horse industry does so much for the state, and we thought it deserved a day to celebrate, enjoy the horses. It's the only free day of the year at the Kentucky Horse Park, so a family can go out and enjoy all that they have to offer for free.
This is it.
Yes.
Okay, how did it get the name?
Well, there are many local horse farms that kindly donate hats to us, and we give those hats out. We have over 1,000 hats almost every year, and first come, first served, and so it's a great opportunity to pick up a horse farm hat.
And I'm sure people like to collect all the different farms.
Absolutely. There are people who've been there every year and have gotten a hat every year, so it's pretty exciting.
Well, it really is fun with, you know, all the different logos and different colors of hats and so forth. Is it one of those, the earlier you get there, the better your chance?
Absolutely. They'll start giving out the hats at 4 p.m. and they'll run through 1,000 pretty quickly. So if you want a hat, please arrive early. Any
special guests this year?
We're having Wise Dan this year. Rood and Riddle is presenting an award to him, the inaugural Rood and Riddle Comeback Award. And Wise Dan, of course, was two-time champion horse of the year back in 2013 and 14. And we're just delighted to have him there. He's a fantastic horse, and his trainer and the trainer's wife, Amy Lopresti, will both be there. So we're just really excited to have them.
Tell us about the continuing enthusiasm for horses in Kentucky. We seem to always renew our interest and our excitement in this, as you said earlier, signature industry.
You know, Kentucky is known the world over for horses. I think when you visit anywhere and you ask what do they connect to Kentucky, they'll say horses. And the most important 3-year-old race in the year is the Kentucky Derby. And over 80% of the time, Kentucky breds have won that. And that's really something to be very proud of for Kentucky. And I really, you know, everybody talks about UK basketball, which is fantastic, obviously, but UK thoroughbreds, UK horses, that's where it really is, too.
It's
Very
right
good.
here.
All right, it's Hats Off Day, Saturday, 4 o'clock at the Kentucky Horse Park. Free admission that day. Thanks
Lots
for
to do. HatsOffKY.com to learn more about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming next from California to the Bluegrass, you'll love the sound of these award-winning musicians.
We'll hear from today's Wood Songs kids coming up next.
I tell you, these feels like situations out there where the temperatures are just incredibly high.
Yeah, and you know what? This weekend we were right around 100 degrees for all locations, and we're already there, and we're not even at 1 p.m. You got to remember, we still have about 4 to 5 more hours of heating to go. It's 100, multiple locations. 102 takes the cake. In our viewing area right now in Maysville, updating there in Covington out at the airport at 101. But you know what? We got some thunderstorms sparking up. They're bits and pieces. They're here and there. It's not widespread in terms of everybody's going to be seeing rain today. It's about a 40% chance of rain, but you can see some of those pretty heavy downpours. Just little bits and pieces here and there. That's exactly what we expect the rest of the afternoon.
Okay, we're going to keep track of that. Latest news, of course, coming up at 4 when we'll update your forecast. The Young and the Restless is next, and we're going to leave you with some music this afternoon.
That's right. From the Wood Songs kids from Western California, here are award-winning musicians Presley Barker and Clay Russell. Enjoy.
Well, I was born down in the Southland. 20-some odd years ago. I ran away for the first time. When I was only 4 years old, I'm a free-born man. Lord, my home was on my back. I know every inch of the highway, there for the backward, every mile of railroad track. Got a gal in Cincinnati, I got one in San Antonio. Well, always love a gal next door, but any place is home, I'm a free-born man. Lord, my home is on my back. I know every inch of the highway, there for the backward, every mile of railroad track. Get it, play. Yeah. Now I got me a Martin guitar, and I carry no tote sack. Well, honked it about 200 times, but I always got it back. I'm a free-born man. Lord, my home's on my back. I know every inch of the highway, there for the backward, every mile of railroad track.